The earth begins to rumble and crack, creating a massive rift between the chosen ones and their ominous pursuers. The evil creatures, realizing they have fallen into a trap, try to retreat, but it's already too late. The ground beneath their feet shatters, creating a chasm that becomes an insurmountable barrier for the monsters. In this way, Van buys time for himself and his friends to safely cross to the other side of the magical dome, unharmed. The chosen ones finally emerge from the dead lands and approach the caves where the kingdom of the gnomes was located. The entrance doors to the cave turn out to be huge, despite the fact that most of the gnomes were short. The chosen ones notice with surprise that no one is guarding the entrance and the door is open. Entering the kingdom of the gnomes, they see that everything is fine there. The gnomes are very calm and disciplined in their work. Elf Annie expresses her suspicions, noting that everything that is happening seems very suspicious to her. This is unusual for gnomes, who are usually rambunctious, talking loudly and arguing over little things, but they are now showing unusual wisdom and quietness. At this moment, one of the royal guards, who stands out among the dwarves for his height, approaches the chosen ones. He asks them why they came to the kingdom of the gnomes. Areg replies that they have come to meet with Githrin, the king of the dwarves, because they have important matters to discuss. At the same time, evil has already begun to act in the human kingdom. Daggeron opens several secret passages and directs his sorcerers there with the aim of kidnapping King Rusa and several influential individuals who play a crucial role in governing the human kingdom. That night, Hayk was very restless and could not sleep. Suddenly, he gets out of bed, gets dressed, takes his sword, and quickly heads out of his country house. Soz, his wife, wakes up from the sounds, quickly follows him and asks, "Soz, where are you going this late at night, Hayk? What's happened?" "Hayk, I feel that something is amiss at the palace, and it's time for me to go. Always stay close to Raphael, lock the doors, and under no circumstances leave the country house." So Hayk gets on his horse and quickly moves towards the royal palace. After some time, the sorcerer Tyre wakes up, goes out onto the palace balcony, and suddenly notices that the king's brother Hayk is walking in the palace courtyard. He decides to go downstairs and find out what Hayk is doing here at such a late hour. After searching for him for several minutes, the wizard hears voices. Walking towards these voices, he sees Hayk entering a black magical corridor portal. Approaching the corridor, Tyre notices that King Rusa's sword is lying on the ground, and when he tries to pick it up, someone hits him on the head from behind, causing him to fall unconscious. Now let's return to the kingdom of the dwarves, where Githrin, the great king of the dwarves, meets the four chosen ones in his royal hall. Entering the room, the heroes are amazed by its size, a huge hall with a high ceiling, decorated with massive statues, as if guarding the path from the doors of the hall to the throne. For the chosen few, this is not like a hall of gnomes, but like a giant royal palace. The chosen ones, overwhelmed by the majestic atmosphere, make their way to Githrin, seated on her magnificent throne. Standing in front of the royal throne are two mysterious dwarf guards, dressed entirely in black, hiding their faces, these to stand out from the crowd with their mystical appearance. Along the sides of the hall, every meter along the walls, gnome guards are stationed, creating the impression of impenetrable protection. Approaching the throne, they bow and greet King Githrin. The Gnome King also welcomes them and, in a very calm voice, asks, "How did I achieve such respect that four chosen by nature came such a long way and came to visit me?" The Gnome King seemed extremely calm, but in his eyes, against the background of this calm, something sly and sinister flickered. The guards, as if ready to receive an order every minute, were tensely awaiting the command to neutralize the chosen ones. At this time, the elf Ani comes forward and says, "Your Majesty, we were sent by Tur, the chief wizard of the human kingdom. We have come to meet with the giant gnome blacksmiths and, with their assistance, obtain the weapon foretold in the prophecy for our cause." After several seconds of silence, Githrin begins to laugh loudly, and then with some kind of cynical smile says, "You have traveled a long and perilous journey to come to my kingdom. Unfortunately, the magical gnome blacksmiths you speak of have long departed from this world, and the path leading to them has vanished. Since then, a considerable amount of time has elapsed, and it's implausible that they are still alive." Having said this, Githram begins to smile again, and after a short silence continues, "But despite this, I am glad to see you in our kingdom. We have all been waiting for you for a long time." The Gnome King begins to laugh loudly. The Chosen notice that Githran's eyes turn completely black, and his voice gradually starts to rasp. At that moment, the Chosen realize that the king is under the influence of evil, and his words are not his own. Under the control of the two towering guards beside him, who turn out to be evil sorcerers obeying Daggeron's orders, Githran has become a puppet in their hands. Understanding this, Ani, using the power of the wind, creates chaos in the hall, providing an opportunity for escape. Exiting the hall, Van urges everyone to stop. Then he kneels, places his hand on the ground, and says, "I feel very faint breathing in the depths of the cave, and I think that these are the gnome blacksmiths. Follow me, friends. I know where to go."